everybody. I just wanted to post a little fix on my signature leg press. I've read the comments and I noticed a lot of people were having problems with this issue, and I've come up with a solution for it. What happens is, where the sled has the stop built in, right up in here, it's hard to see, but there's like a piece of angle iron in here, and when the carriage comes down, it bumps into that angle iron. Well, the problem that my machine had, not only mine, but many people who reviewed this machine, the problem they were experiencing was the stop on the right-hand side was hitting, but the stop on the left-hand side was missing. So basically, when you brought the carriage down, all the weight was being held on one side and not the other. So I thought about it and wondered if I could get some shims in there or something, because that would probably be the easiest way to correct this. So I started taking a look at the locking arm, and I noticed up at the top that there was a cap on it right here. And that cap has a 1.5 millimeter hex or Allen wrench accessible. So I figured if there's one on the top, there must be one on the bottom too. So I checked the bottom, and sure enough, there's one down here. So what I decided to do was I pulled all the weight off the machine so that I was able to push it forward with my feet. I went to Ace Hardware and I bought like 4 of these machine washers, very thin, so that I could add small increments so I could get it just right. So what you do is you undo that Allen screw, pop that cap off. Underneath the cap there's like a plastic bushing with a solid end on it, and you got to pull that bushing out because that's what's holding the rod in place so it stays center. Once you take that plastic off of there, that no longer holds the bar captive, so you're able to push up on the levers to slide that right up out of there. Once you slide it out, you just start adding spacers. See, this piece of tubing is fixed to the machine. And this piece of tubing is part of the handle fixed to the rod. So in order to get the whole rod to go that way, so it's closer to the stop, just start adding spacers in there. And as you add spacers, the carriage is empty, so all you gotta do is lower it down, check the pressure on the right side compared to the pressure on the left. When you get equal amounts of pressure on both of them, you know you've got it. Slap that plastic bushing back in there, put that cap back on, you're good to go. I believe mine took 3 of these to correct it. So roughly about 1/8 of an inch is all that was off, but it was enough to where it wouldn't settle, allowing all the weight to just be on one side of the machine when it was in the lock position. So if anybody has that issue with theirs, that's how to fix it. It's fairly simple. These things are only like 95 cents each, which is really ridiculous compared to what I used to buy little washers for. Thank you, Joe Biden. But anyway, that's the way I fixed mine. Other than that, the machine is rock solid. I love it. I think it's a little bit difficult getting in and out of it. Maybe it's just because I'm an old man. But the spacing right in here, it's a little bit tight, so you've got to kind of hang on to that bar as you're stepping into it to hold your balance and to ease yourself down into the seat. And I think I mentioned in another video, the last I saw, this thing was down to $8.97 at the Walmart. I don't know if they have any left or not, but that is a steal. I mean, they claim the MSRP on this is $2,600, and of course, always MSRP is always very high, but it's a darn solid machine, 500 pounds. I think the only thing I would have changed on it is the plate holders for when you put the load on it. It's got these rubber caps. These rubber caps are a little bit higher, or not higher, but they're a little bit wider than the steel. So every time you try to put a plate on, it catches on this, and you got to kind of rotate the plate to get it on there. I imagine you could just sand the outside of these down a little bit so it slides over there smoother. But the cap isn't my main issue. It's more the material they use for the pipe. It's not very heavy walled. I don't think anything will happen because all you're doing is hanging weights on it. But I would probably feel more comfortable having something a little thicker than this. I figured if it ever got damaged or anything, I could just buy a piece of black pipe or something with the same diameter and just slide that in. That would even add weight to the carriage to make it start out heavier. So that's pretty minor. I mean, that's no big deal. Easy enough to sand that down. And then some people have complained about the storage being 1 inch diameter instead of 2 inches like an Olympic plate. But for me, it's just like the weights are just hanging there, so who cares? I mean, usually when you store the weights on a leg press, you just leave them where you left them like that. You don't really hang extras there. If you do, it wouldn't be very many of them there. It would just be whatever you use to add when you're lifting on the machine. So anyway, as you can see, I've got 270, I believe, was on there. I don't even add the weight of the carriage. I don't know how much it weighs. I couldn't find that specification anywhere. So there it is, the signature leg press. I did write the company about this issue to find out how they would respond. And to my prior belief, they never contacted me back. I figured maybe they were, I don't know if they were going out of business or if they're having struggles, because if they reduced the price of this machine that much and gave it to Walmart as a third party, then something very fishy is going on there. So anyway, Signature Fitness leg press, $870 at Walmart if they still have them. Go get you one. When I moved mine around the basement, I used the little square dollies. I bought them at Harbor Freight. Put one dolly there, and one dolly up under the seat. Was able to wheel this machine wherever I wanted to with ease. So that's it. I went a lot longer than I expected to, but if anybody needs to do that fix, that's how it's done. Fairly simple. It's a great machine. I have nothing to say against it so far, other than those minor things I pointed out. Have a good one. God bless. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.